There's been a bit of a ruckus in India's filmmaking community. Everyone thought that the country's official submission for the Oscars was going to be a film called The Lunchbox, which was launched to a positive reception at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this year. But then when the official pick was revealed, it was declared to be a picture with a much lower profile called The Good Road. And now many people are saying that India's Oscars chances have been scuppered. From Mumbai for Talking Movies, Vaibhav Dewan reports.
There is one prize that India has been wanting for years now, an Oscar for its film industry. The country has never been rewarded with one, although it has been nominated 3 times before. In 1957 for the epic melodrama Mother India, in 1988 for Salaam Bombay, shot on the streets of Mumbai and directed by Meera Nair, and then again in 2001 for the period cricket drama Lagan. The past few years have been quite controversial for films from India being submitted for an Oscar. Last year, it was Barfi, featuring top Indian star Ranbir Kapoor, which got some quite good reviews, but some critics thought it borrowed too heavily from old Hollywood films. So as far as controversies are concerned, this year is no different. It became a drama in which a Mumbai set film called The Lunchbox, a favourite, was ousted by the Gujarati picture from debutant director Gyan Korea called The Good Road.
My film is essentially 3 stories, 3 sets of people meeting on a highway in a 24-hour period. There's an urban couple from Bombay with their child, there's a truck driver who's on his last journey, and there's a little girl who's running away from hope.
How does India select and submit films for Oscars consideration?
We see the credentials of the jury and then we select it. The minimum number of jury is 11 and the maximum number is 17. So within that we have to work. So obviously when we select, we see that the the cream of the industry comes.
The Lunchbox got a release across the whole of India and made some good money, and the director and actors made appearances at various international film festivals. Surprisingly, the Indian film that's been submitted for the Oscars had a much lower profile and was not seen across the country.
I'm not quite sure why they chose The Good Road, but one of the reasons could be that they're trying to support regional language cinema in India. It's a Gujarati film, and regional language cinema has really exploded in India over the last few years, and domestically in the individual regions they do better sometimes than the Bollywood films themselves. And this may be a way of trying to support cinema which is diverse all throughout India and not just dominated by Hindi or Bollywood cinema.
So how does Gyan Korea, director of The Good Road, account for the fact that his film made it to the Oscars race?
I'm not sure what I should say about this, because as I said right in the beginning, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But look, here's the thing, an independent jury of people from the industry, I don't know them, by the way. I don't know the jury. They've selected this. And obviously I feel my film is good, and what critics feel, well, I don't know, it's mixed. I've got great, I mean, people coming and telling me it's fantastic, and people saying it's it shouldn't have been India's selection for the Oscars. At the end of the day, this is the process. An independent jury selected it.
After all the hue and cry over the Indian film being submitted to Oscar this year, at least one thing is clear, that the Indian film industry is united and they are backing the film Good Road. Now the only hope is if the film will make it to Oscar's Best Foreign Film shortlist, an announcement which will be made on 16th January next year.
Director Michel Gondry's romantic drama Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind happens to be one of my favourite films. So I was intrigued when I heard that an enterprising, adventurous director put together an installation piece in which he gets 2 actors to dramatise the final scene from the movie 23 times over a 2-hour period. So Talking Movies went along to investigate. The director and his 2 actors explain the piece in their own words.
The world is a mess, wants to change your hair color. I mean...
You want a drink or something?
Do you have any whiskey?
Eternal is a video work where Thomas J. Ryan and Christina Rauner perform the last scene of the film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind in a continuous loop for 2 hours. And the scene was shot in one take with 2 cameras, with the actors doing the same scene over and over, and that's really it.
I'm Clementine, by the way.
I'm Joel.
Hi, Joel. No jokes about my name.
This piece began, we were looking at last scenes of lots of different films, and I think we transcribed something like 60 last scenes of essentially sort of romantic comedies and dramas, and I was interested in exploring the lengths people will go to pursue happiness or to pursue being with another person, and the effort involved in that, and the boredom involved in that, and the futility, the emotion, the humor, and I think it was the particular language of this scene that when we landed on it felt like the one to work on.
Looking for my own peace of mind. I'm not perfect.
To act the same lines out for 2 hours was, I said immediately when we were finished that it was the hardest thing I'd ever done. You have to have an enormous amount of courage and freedom to just let it be what it's going to be.
I don't think her sex is motivated. I saw it clearly that last night we were together. It wasn't sexy. It's just sad.
I think there's a lot of urgency in the scene that helps this. I think that it's also rhythmically, it's very back and forth and choppy and uncertain and discombobulating. So there are things about it that I think present a particular challenge and also have a particular depth for exploration that can sustain that amount of repetition that some other language wouldn't have been able to sustain.
I'm pretty interested in repetition lately. I think there's something about the way you repeat something and how it how things change and how it can become almost meditative, and that's just at the moment something I'm interested in, and maybe I'm not done with that yet.
People who have seen it, who have contacted me, have been very moved by it. It takes on a life that we couldn't have predicted. The 2 hours. I don't know if you know what I mean. We made no decisions about whether it would get really emotional or whether it would be very flat. Maybe I thought the performances wouldn't change much, that we would sort of be flat and that it wouldn't change, it wouldn't evolve. But the fact that we didn't make any decisions about those things freed us up to let it go wherever. And it ended up going all kinds of places we hadn't expected and that we could never repeat if it were a live theater piece. I really like your hair.
Thank you.
Now a word about next month's programme, when we'll be looking back at the year in film and announcing our top 10 films of 2013. We want you to participate. Please record a 30-second video statement giving us your name, where you're from, and what your favourite film of 2013 was and why. Then go to bbc.com/Talking Movies and find full instructions on how to upload your video. Some of your offerings will broadcast next month, others will be featured online. So from me, Tom Brooke, and the rest of the Talking Movies production team, it's goodbye as we leave you with some of the music and images that we brought you in the report on Russian cinema featured earlier in the programme.
Shall